I was just so pleased for him that he'd shown what a wonderful horse he is, and become immortal, you know.
So Lucinda, welcome to an episode of Ring Walks, or as we're going to call it today with Cheetah, Ring Walkies.
Yeah, she's great. She's one of the three that always come with us. She's used to all the big meetings and the small meetings.
You travel quite a lot with your animals, so they must be quite used to hanging around waiting for races.
Yeah, they are. They love it, and it's just great. You know, as you know, we tend to go to the race courses in our camper van, and it's partly so we can be close to the horses, but it's also partly so we can take them.
Yeah, well, exactly. If you're on the road so much, you can't exactly be putting them in the kennels every weekend.
No.
So, Aintree, this must, I'm not going to say ancestral home, but very happy hunting ground, I'd say.
I've always loved Aintree. It's absolutely in my heart. It's, I think from the days when I watched Red Rum winning the National, and the National's in my heart as well, but I've always loved Aintree, and I love the people here. I love the reception that we get. Ahoy Senor, who ran at the festival, his stable name is Hank, and it was amazing because coming in underneath the archway there, people were saying, "Well done, Hank! Well done, Hank!" It's just lovely. I just love the reception you get here.
And that's not something it's not massively well publicised. So it's kind of like people have really kind of stuck onto him for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely. And isn't that lovely, the way that people understand horses and make characters out of them?
Peter Scudamore is so involved in the training as well. He literally rides him out every day. I think that's his his child, basically, Corach.
Yes, it's a funny thing. You know, we always said that, okay, why do we train? The reason we train is that we love the horses. And we like to I always think you should do things that you're good at. And the thing that he's good at is assessing horses. So when he got on Corach one time to assess him, and he's never got off him, he just loves him. And I think Corach's, he's a bit different. He needs gentle handling. He wouldn't really cope just doing the normal things in a big string. To get him to sort of blossom and to be the best that he can be, he has to go off and do slightly different things. But we do it with all the horses. It's just a matter of working out what every horse actually likes.
Yeah, finding out their little quirks and special traits. Do you find that as an essential part of your training, having Skew there to be able to jump on board and kind of assess a horse from on top as well as what you're doing from the ground?
Yeah, I mean, the way that the yard's gone now, it's got so big. You know, we're very lucky. We've got some fantastic jockeys who work for us and work riders, so we have to listen to what they say, and the majority of them understand the way that we do things. So it's good. You can always get the feedback from them. It's not just me standing on the ground hoping that I know what the horses are doing. You know, we've got so many people giving us information about them, and that's the only way. You know, we've grown. I think when I started I had 9 horses, and
wow.
I've now got over 100, and the only way that I can do that is because I've got great people giving me the information.
If you had to pin down a reason as to how you've gone or why you've gone from 9 to over 100, what would you say it has been? Was it One for Arthur's Grand National win? Was it something else that happened?
Yes, actually we go back to Aintree again. I had a lovely horse called Strong Resolve, and he ran in the National, and that really, it made me believe that we could train horses for the National. And then, as you say, with One for Arthur winning, then you just know the formula. You know, it's.
Go on, what is it?
It's just dead easy. You just keep working them. You work them whether it's raining or it's sunny. Yeah, you just give them a nice amount of work, but let them develop as well. But yeah, no, it's great, and it is something that I love. I'm so lucky to be able to do this, to do something that you really enjoy and is your passion, and means that I can be so close to the horses.
Is there, like, we say this, but it's not an easy job though. You know, as a trainer, you've got to, you know, if you actually ticked off all the things, it's like staff welfare, you've got equine welfare, you've got owners kind of liaison, you've got all these extra things. The admin must be amazing, you know, entries, all that kind of stuff. Is it hard? Is it you just have to live and breathe the whole 100%? There's no days off, there's no this, there's no that.
You're right. When I started, I had to do all those things. But now we've built a really good team. We've got people that do the admin. We've got a lovely man that does all the form for us. We've got so many people helping us. And it's just like a big organisation. Whether it's any business, it's kind of the same.
You've learned to delegate.
Yeah. Look, to delegate and to listen. And to give people time to do things that they're good at. That's the important thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That there's no point trying to fit people into the wrong job. You give people the jobs that they enjoy and that becomes their passion. And because of that, I mean, people say, where do you go on holiday? Well, we don't have to. My life is a holiday. It's great. okay, there's a lot of tough things as well, and you do have to be resilient, and it's not just about all happiness, and there are bad things, but it's about if you've got the right team around you, you can cope with that.
Is there anything you naturally love the most out of the job?
I feed first thing in the morning, and I absolutely love that because
Really?
I'm on my own. So sort of 10 to 6, I go around and feed all the horses that are at the farm, and it's just getting to know the horses and spending time with them. That's the bit that I just love.
You say all this, you've built an amazing team, you've got amazing horses, and to be honest, you're doing some of the heavy lifting in the British versus Irish kind of conversation we're all having at the moment. You know, are people now gravitating towards you up north?
I think we've got a lot of owners that are in Scotland, a lot of people, and Scottish racing is really on the up, and the enthusiasm that people have about going racing, they're really lucky. We've got 5 racecourses that love owners going there.
Yeah.
And so people are enjoying racing. That then means that they want to get involved, and they can get involved at so many levels. You know, we've got ownership, which is £60 to buy into a horse. We've got ownership where, you know, you can spend 130,000 on a horse. But I don't see being in Scotland as a disadvantage. I see it as an advantage. And it's funny because when SKU first came up, we had to make that decision. What are we going to do? Are we going to stay north, or are we going to go south? But
that was actually something you were strongly contemplating, was moving south.
Oh yeah. So 2016. I mean, it's quite a long time ago, I suppose, 8 years ago. So we decided to stay in Scotland and just be as strong as we can. But I think that the weather and stuff, the environment that we have up there, really helps our training for the national hunt. You know, we have a lot of wind, and it keeps the air right. And I think we've got a huge number of advantages living up there, and it's dead easy to bring horses down south to race. I mean, we've had runners at Sandown and Newbury, and it's aspirational. That's the thing. The way that we're doing it now is we want people to have the best horses. We want to be taking on the top ones. I mean, there's no point running away from you know, if we're going to touch on the Irish-British problem, you know, we've just got to raise our game. And I want to do that, and our owners want to do that. So, you know, come on, let's bring it on.
You're certainly doing the heavy lifting when it comes to the national with 2 winners in the last 7 years or so.
Yeah, we're good at our staying chasers, and we're good at the other horses as well. And I think we've got some really nice novices coming through. Do you know, the most important bit of it is buying the horses. You know, you can be the best trainer in the world, but if you've got things that are more akin to cheater, that's more difficult. I think if you buy the horses yourself, and a lot of the time we're using our money, you know, it puts a different slant on things. It's not just it's lazy just getting other people to buy them. We actually buy them ourselves, and we believe in the horses when we buy them.
Again, that's like quite a money outlay because you're buying them and then to sell them on to potential owners that you may have or may not have yet. Is there ever a little bit of like, oh, okay, this, you know, go on, SKU, that 10,000 might be one step too far?
No, because I always think that, you know, as an owner, wouldn't you much rather buy into a horse that the trainer believes in?
Yeah.
You know, and I can't blame the trainer for training it wrong if it doesn't perform. So, you know, that's why we do it. But you're right. Occasionally, driving home, I get sweaty palms on the steering wheel and say, "Oh my Lord, we've put a lot of money out." But inevitably, we can. You know, I believe in them. At the end of the day, if I have to keep them myself, I still own half of Ahoy Senor, and I have to say his prize money's been rather nice this year.
What's been your favourite moment of your whole career?
Of my whole career? Oh, I don't know. I suppose your first winner's always exciting. Winning with One for Arthur was fantastic because the owners are just great friends, and it was just, that was like kids doing it together. You know, come on, let's go to the Grand National and let's enjoy ourselves. We had a great time with that. Corach winning just means so much because I adore the horse. And I adore the owners as well, but I do adore the horse, and I was just so pleased for him that he'd shown what a wonderful horse he is, and become immortal. You know, that's the thing.
Where did this all come from with you? You say you started with 9 horses, but what is your background? What is it? Because I remember when your dad passed away last year, he had no interest in horse racing. It was all via you, right? So where did this all come from?
It's just horses. I just love horses, and I was the kid that I was desperate to get a pony, and I badgered mum and dad, badgered them, and they were very kind. He did eventually get me a pony when I was 10 years old, but I just love horses. And then I used to event, and I bought and sold horses to pay for that, and people used to send me horses that weren't quite right. I was sent a horse, and they said, "Would you take it point to pointing?" Yeah, okay. I mean, that seemed quite easy. I just canter it round a field, take it hunting a few times, and it was fit. And he won, and then I wanted to do a bit more of that. And at the same time, my eventing, you know, you come 12th or 13th in an event, and you think, oh, that's really good, but it wasn't really that good.
Yeah.
And I suppose my bottle probably started to go a bit as well. And meanwhile, the racehorses were winning, and I thought, well, I better do the thing that I'm actually good at. So that's why I got into racing. And my goodness, look at us now. I'm walking around Aintree. This is the place that I adore. Here I am. It's quite incredible.
You very much made those dreams come true, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I just hope Corach can do the same again tomorrow.
Right, I got the last thing, a couple of quick fire questions. I know one you're really not going to like, but you're going to have to answer it anyway. So, very much Quickfire, Grand National or Gold Cup?
Grand National.
Corach Rambler or one for Arthur?
That's really unfair. That's choosing between your children. I might go for Corach Rambler.
Oh, I thought I was going to get a Corach Arthur or something. Summer or winter?
Winter.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird now.
Now? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I used to be a night owl, but yeah, no, we go to bed at 8 o'clock now.
It's not surprising if you've got dogs and horses and you're feeding at 6. Documentary or action film?
Documentary.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee first thing, tea after that.
Fair enough. Chocolate, do you put it in the fridge or in a cupboard?
In my mouth.
Test the waters or dive in the deep end?
Test the waters.
Fair enough. And glass half full or glass half empty?
Definitely half full.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. Lucinda, thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much, Cheetah.